What was your "this person is on another level of stupid" moment? Going through security and the person says I need to show a different form of ID. I ask why, because I gave them my driver's license. They say I need a US document like a green card or something. I'm a US citizen. Then I realized. I explained how District of Columbia is long for DC. Like Washington DC. As in the capital of our country. OMG. I can relate. I'm from New Mexico. The number of people that think we are a foreign country is astounding. Dude burned down his convenience store down for an insurance claim, and stopped the milk and bread deliveries the day before. He's too caring for the criminal world, didn't want to inconvenience the milk and bread companies. I'm an identical twin, and have been asked all manner of utterly ridiculous questions about it throughout my life. But I think the stupidest was when a girl once asked me, "Do you ever get yourselves mixed up with each other?" I responded, "Are you asking me if I ever sometimes think I'm my brother?" She replied, "Yeah? No. I don't." I got a bad grade in geography in high school. My teacher kept trying to push me and suggested I talk to my parents about it. I told my mom I was failing geography and she said, "How fucking stupid can you really be, Justin? How do you fail geography? It's just shapes." I'll never forget that one. Edit. Thank you all for the upvotes. I've started sharing some of my true stories like this one, and the Reddit community has been very nice to me. I really appreciate it. Texagon. The time I watched someone who had missed their exit on the highway stop on the shoulder, back up, turn around, and go up the entrance ramp. I could not fucking believe it. Edit. A couple of fun details about this incident to really highlight its stupidity. The next exit was a few miles up the road. Going to that exit and then turning around might have delayed their drive by 15 minutes tops. There was no traffic ahead. I watched this person do this as I was coming down that same entrance ramp to get onto the highway. I remember that my driver's ed textbook had an explicit warning against doing that. At the time I wondered why they had put something so obvious in there. Later I realized it was in there because lots of people do it. Friend of mine did this when I was in the passenger seat. I was very briefly Catholic with how hard I was praying to Mary. Back when the Fukushima nuclear power plant disaster happened, we were discussing how the reactor had failed in a science class. 5 minutes into the conversation a girl piped up and said, "I don't see what the big deal is. Why can't we just regrow it?" She deadass thought a nuclear power plant was a plant. Fuck me, that's amazing. I work for Parks Canada in Yoho National Park. I have been asked the question, seriously, where do you keep the animals at night? Twice in my career. To this day I still find great joy imagining what they thought was going on each night as we collected every large animal in the parks. Hey, you. Fuck you, bear, get your ass over here. Come on, don't be a shit. Get in there. Oh man, thank you. I started out imagining you guys rounding up all the animals every night. Then it migrated into one of those old Looney Tunes cartoons where the animals punch out at the time clock and go home to cute little cottages. I can't use this, I'm left-handed. It was a fucking shovel and I was the idiot that thought a left-handed shovel existed. Edit. No, I wasn't trying to get out of working. I was literally that stupid I thought I couldn't use it. Edit 2, to give the story a little more depth. What happened was we were digging up the long jump pit and the shot put vector at my school to get it loose for the home meet, and when it was my turn to shovel, some upperclassmen decided to pull a prank and tell me that it was a right-handed shovel knowing I was left-handed. They sat back and watched the fireworks as I made a fool of myself. Something to add to the rookie joke, go ask them for a bucket of steam, left-handed shovel and a long wait. There was a girl in my high school who forced the teacher to pause a documentary about people living in mud huts in Africa because she was upset that they were showing us fictional movies in a history class. It took everyone else in the room to convince her that people actually live like that in some places. Wealthy area living for you. Funny in part because it's usually other way around, people who don't believe that there are modern cities in many countries in Africa. I was a gifted kid in school and I can't even fathom forcing a teacher to pause a documentary because I thought it and the teacher was wrong. Edit, was wrong? Were wrong? Maybe I should mention that I was a gifted kid in Oklahoma public schools, just for transparency's sake. This was my first experience in retail where I learned what many customers would be like. Seasons were changing, so we put a lot of shirts we had to get rid of in the front and made them 50% off. I was working the register when a woman came up to buy her things. I rang her up and could see a look on her face like something was wrong. That's when the following happened. Lady, why is this so much? Me, pardon me? Lady, this should only be $10, not $20. I thought that maybe her item was on sale, so I asked if she could point out the sign because I wasn't aware of it. It was a small store and we didn't have to walk anywhere. Lady, this sign here. Me, this sign says that all shirts are 50% off. Lady, yes, so why is this full price? Me, this is a hat. We had a sale recently on scarves, 4 for $1.15. The signs clearly stated scarves, the word scarves was in all caps, bold, underlined and bigger than all the other words on the sign. The amount of people I had come up to the counter with 4 items of clothing, worth $30 plus each, and tell me that it was 4 for $15 was unbelievable. After pointing out that the sign clearly said scarves, a few even told me that the signs were misleading. This made me laugh so hard. We asked our classmate to prove she knew the 7 continents. Her list went like this: North America, Europe, China, the Pacific Ocean? I shit you not. Damn. To think she missed Mount Everest, the Pacific Ocean, and the Polar Express. It's like they aren't even teaching geography in schools anymore, sad really. Someone in my history class argued that Mussolini was a type of pasta. I knew a kid in high school who thought tortellini was a dictator. Watching a man try to open the locked front door of my shop while a bright red closed sign was literally inches from his face. He kept looking at the door like it was just stuck. Knew a girl in middle school that didn't understand the concept of perspective. She also thought north was whichever direction you were facing at the time. Ah yes, true north. Summer camp counselor made all the kids on a school bus keep the windows up on a hot day because they could feel the air conditioning coming from the front of the bus. It was so hot and I, maybe 10 years old at the time, had to explain to the 40-year-old counselor that the air conditioning they were feeling was the wind coming in through the bus driver's open window. She still didn't believe me. I begged her to ask the bus driver to confirm the bus did not have air conditioning, but she didn't want to bother him while he was driving. It was like a 1-hour bus trip. She finally got hot enough and asked the bus driver if the bus had air conditioning. And he jokingly said the bus only has air conditioning when the windows are down and the wheels are turning. She then looked back at me and said, "See? I told you the bus had air conditioning," and proceeded to force us to keep the windows up. How does someone that fucking dense become a teacher? I was friends with a guy who believed those fake Apple adverts like Apple Wave, microwave your phone for instant battery charge. I was so dumbfounded that he actually fell for it. When I saw him the week after and he had a new phone, it all clicked for me. At least he's got the money to fund his idiocy. How much is a $50 worth? She was the newest teller my boss hired. Will never forget that moment. I've gotta say, I've said some dumb shit when I first start a new job. It's easy to go into I know nothing mode while also being so stressed your brain stops working. We were talking about the Irish potato famine in college, and this one girl said, "Oh wow, I thought it was the potato family." As if that wasn't enough, she later asked why were they so eager to get jobs. If I was that hungry I wouldn't even try to get a job. Man, I wish I was joking. Oddly she's so dumb she's smart. Jobs were net calorie drains during the potato famine. Many Irish died as they worked themselves to death. Also the food they earned went to their kids, so the work did save them. bleak times. Also, for those who don't know, the famine was an artificial economic creation of the British, and not an actual famine. Had someone asked me, is Europe on Earth? Actually, Europa is a moon of Jupiter. I'm European and no, we live on Mars lol. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.